I'm going to talk to you today about the Plum IV Piggyback setup and administration. We're going to need new tubing for the secondary. We're going to need our medication. And you know, we've already done the 3 checks. When we pull this, we do a check. When we get ready to, when we spike it, we're going to do a check. And when we hang it before we push run, we do a 3rd check. In the interest of time, I'm going to go on with hanging the new bag. So I've got my bag, I've checked my medication against my mark. I'm ready to begin. I have my drug book at hand in case there's any issues about how to run the medication. With the secondary tubing, open the bag. The first thing you always do is close your clamp. This is not needed for the Plum. This is fused for the Alaris, but the Alaris is by gravity. Everything on the Plum is going to be by machine. I've got my new tubing. I've got my antibiotic. I'm going to spike it. First, I'm going to pull off the end off of the IV. Then I will remove my cap so to protect my spike. Line it up, and with a sort of a twisting, pushing motion, put it in. My clamp is closed. I'm going to hang my IV. I will need to clean the back check valve on my Plum to administer it. That will need to dry. I could go ahead and label my tubing and put that on while that is drying. Tubing for IV piggyback administration can be used for up to 24 hours as long as the tip has been maintained sterility. My hub is dried. I'm going to attach my tubing onto the back check valve. At this point, I can open my valve. Our machine is running. The A is the primary line. I'm going to tell A, which is running, to stop. That brings up back prime. I want to back prime my tubing. My clamp is open, and when I hold down the back prime, it's going to feed the fluid from A to clear the tubing for B of air. So I'm going to hold down the back prime button. And as you'll notice, you'll see the air bubbles coming up as it's pushing the air out of the tubing and back priming. I want to fill my drip chamber till it's half full. And there's a little line on the drip chamber that lets you know where you need to be. And I will stop. Now then, I'm now going to tell what I want to happen. When I'm done, A will be delayed, B will be pumping. So we're going to tell B, I want this. My antibiotic is 250 mils. I know with ciprofloxacin, I need to run that in 60 minutes. So I need to tell it to run 250 mils an hour. Scroll down, put in the rate per hour. Scroll down again, volume to be infused. It would also be 250 in this case. And my duration is 1 hour. My math is correct. Then I'm ready to start. It will say, attention, line B stopped or delayed. Do you want this? Yes. And now I'm going to have stopped pumping. The last thing I want to do is to make it delayed. So I'm going to tell A, I want this now to go into program options. And it's going to allow me to delay start. And I need to delay start this for 1 hour because that's where my antibiotic will be done. So it says, yes, I want to enter it. And then I will start A. It'll ask you, do you really want this? Yes, I do. Continue anyway. And I end up with delayed A, pumping B. And that's what you want to do. A word about intermittent antibiotic infusions. This patient has antibiotic ordered on a scheduled basis. That could be Q8 hours, Q12 hours, which means every 8 hours or every 12 hours, I'm going to hang the same drug again. So I'm coming in with my new drug that's already been cleared and checked, and I'm going to replace the same antibiotic. It's the same exact thing. Ciprofloxacin 400 milligrams. This is ciprofloxacin 400 milligrams in the same solution, and I just want to change it out. Can I use the tubing? If it's only been 24 hours according to your date and label, yes, you can. So this one, intermittent infusions, we change the tubing every 24 hours. If it's been more than 24 hours, I would need new tubing and to hang up my antibiotic. In this case, because I am within 24 hours, I could just go ahead and take this one, put this one up in its place, and go ahead and continue back priming as always. This is priming an Alaris with a primary tubing. You'll be using the Alaris pump. To turn on the Alaris pump, use system on. Now while that's warming up, I'm going to go ahead and take my Alaris tubing that typically comes with a little cover to protect this portion of the tubing. The first thing I'm going to always do is clamp my tubing. I have done my medication already with my first check, but when I pulled it, but again, you would do the 3 checks. With my medication, my first check. My tubing is clamped. I'm going to go ahead, first pull from the bag, then open the spike, depressing this and holding it carefully. A twisting motion will get it into the tubing, into the bag. Fill your drip chamber half full. This little piece, the device actually removes to fit into the machine. I'm going to now open my clamp, and this one runs totally by gravity, so it's going to go ahead and feed through. If there is some difficulty getting it to run, you may just want to twist the cap on the end to let it finally loosen. And we are now cleared to run. All right, they ask you new patient. If it were a new patient, you would say yes. If not, you would say no. And then it'll ask you to press if yes to confirm if this is a medical surgical unit. Yes. Patient A, channel select A, and that is the one we're going to be dealing with, just channel select A. It asks you guardrail, IV fluids. You can mash this one or basic infusion. Basic infusion will bring up your ability to set your pump. We're going to go ahead and set the rate. Our order was for 75 mils an hour. So you're going to use the buttons on the side to take it down to the rate would be 75 mils an hour. Again, the volume to be infused, I want enough left in to be able to come back and get a new bag up. So I'm going to leave an hour's worth in. So I'm going to put for 425 for my volume to be infused. And then I'm going to enter that for my secondary. Enter that for my primary. If I wanted this to start, I'd push now. But first we're going to put it in the machine. So now that we've fed the tubing, we will open your Alaris, take your tubing, and it strings from the top. The little cassette goes into the guard. Bring your tubing here, and put your tubing in to the slots. So 3 slots, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Close your tubing and close your machine. Now then, I've set my rate at 75, 425 mils. I would have done a 3rd check. If everything else was okay, then I could push start. I would open my clamp, it's connected to my patient, and then I would push start.